G4 Studios, Scotland. All into it's time for the third podcast.
Just off the back of another great open mat, which again, Sean Clancy, who needs no introduction. If you don't know, get to know. And with that being said, what do you think about Khalil and Pereira?
Oh,
You want to just dive straight in? I do. I'll tell you why I do.
Right.
Because obviously you fought against Khalil before. And do you think that, this is my opinion, do you think that Khalil that turned up on Saturday night would have beaten anyone else in the light heavyweight division, just not Pereira? Do you think, like, how good do you think Khalil was rather than how good was Pereira?
I think Khalil over the short 3-5 minute rounds beats MD.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. They shots, they strikes were crisp. And I think he was up the first 2 rounds, am I right? On the
I gave him
scorecard?
the first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm. Even on the judges' scorecards, and we'll speak about that later as well. But I think he would have beat MD in the light heavyweight division. His stocks just skyrocketed.
But Pereira's just downloading the info,
I
dissecting him, and then just goes, right.
And
Cool.
he just fucking nails him, man.
Goes to it. Did you watch?
I did. I watched it Sunday morning, stayed off social media. The only fight I didn't watch was the one Greg was looking forward to, the Wonder Boy
So
and Buckley.
I never saw Wonder Boy Buckley, and I never saw Kayla either. And I had wanted to watch Kayla, actually.
Well, I watched Kayla because I was like, right, there's going to be a new queen in town. That's what I had in my head.
So I've seen a lot of comments, and I've seen Chael Sonnen's video about it as well. And
What's he saying?
he's saying Kayla's beatable.
That's what I noticed. I think if you're coming from PFL, right, and there's all this background of judo, we're expecting an absolute monster. We're expecting this lassie to walk through everybody in the division. She's talking about a title shot, and I'm no shitting on her, but that performance, it wasn't like an open and closed book, was it? It wasn't like she's the new guy in this division.
Do you think if she'd have been in the title fight, she'd have won?
It's difficult to say because there's obviously the fact that she's in Salt Lake City. There's all these kind of things that are factoring in.
Do you think that's impacted everybody? Do you think you saw a difference in the fights, in the fighters?
No, for Khalil and Pereira.
No,
the two of them are like sea level. Like, doesn't matter if they were at sea level or if they were at Higgy. Could you imagine that fight at sea level? In fact, somebody would have died.
Mate, I know, it was mad.
But I thought the card itself was good.
Aye.
I thought the judging was terrible, and I'm assuming we're going to speak about it. But I don't think the champion, it was Pennington who won. Am I right?
Pena won.
Pena won.
Pena won.
She beat Pennington.
But Pennington definitely won.
Aye.
Aye. It's a tough one, eh?
I know. Like,
and then Pena comes out with the call out to Nunez.
I
think you've missed. I think it's a miss. It's a swing and a miss, eh?
But then did you see Nunez was made a post herself to the boss?
Saying, phone me.
Aye.
Give me a phone. That's just to get attention on yourself. She's got Dana White's number, mate. She can phone. It's happening, Khalil, bro.
That's some noise. Is that Khalil's nose absolutely shattered?
Big man's been on the Charlie.
Aye, that's him after his surgery, 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗏 got.
Oh.
Straight after, aye.
That's so that's just the actual cartilage rather than the. I mean, she's looking in some condition. I know we're jumping back and forward.
We do that though.
Craig, slow down, mate. There's too much happening. Right, Khalil Roundtree was the best version of Khalil I think we've ever seen.
Yes,
and he can't beat Pereira because Pereira is just next level when it comes to striking. That's my opinion on that. But what you don't do is you don't give Pereira to anyone else in that light heavyweight division.
So obviously you mean Ankalaev.
You don't give him Ankalaev.
Do you think Ankalaev will beat him?
Aye.
I don't know.
How?
Because I'm just got recency bias, eh? I tell you what, I agree with you not giving him ankle, not because if for a business point of view, nobody wants to see Ankalaev win. So for a fight, you need obviously you have your popular fighter, right? I've kind of fucked up how I'm wording that. Round 3 versus Pereira was a 50-50 fight. I believed both guys could have won. You don't believe Khalil could have won?
No, you're smoking crack, man.
Mate, you don't fight. So you just said yourself Khalil won the first 2 rounds.
He won 2 rounds. That's not how you win a fight.
Aye, but what I'm saying is he came close. And he would have beat anyone else, you said.
Yes.
Those were your exact words. But he's just not good enough to beat Pereira.
Over 5 rounds.
Yes. So you think over 3 rounds he'd beat him?
Aye.
If it went to the judges?
Yes, but what you've got to remember is Khalil was number 8 in the division.
Mm-hmm.
So Khalil done the massive jump in front of everybody after testing positive for drugs because he was meant to fight Jamal Hill, and Jamal Hill's like this.
Guy yawns weird, eh?
Like his hand was over
like he's shoveling fucking sweeties in there.
So here's what I'm like. You don't like for a guy like Pereira, you can't put him. I know this is a video. He's like,
Don't act like you were bored, mate. Everybody was loving the fight.
That's me when I won the edibles.
Did you see what Pereira responded with?
Pereira's was brilliant. His comeback was like, is that him just waking up for
301
or 300? But it's going to be the Pereira podcast today because there's so many things I want to know. Like
Shama.
You can't give Pereira anybody else in that division because he'll take him down and he'll fuck him up. Or that's what I think will happen.
Aye.
So you give him Ankalaev.
Yep.
Ankalaev probably survives standing up with him.
Aye, he's tough.
But I think he beats him in the wrestling. I think he out-grapples him. And then what do you do with your cash cow? That is Pereira once he's been beat off Ankalaev, and Ankalaev's the champ, and Ankalaev spends a long time there until Paul Craig comes up and kicks his piece.
Again.
Aye.
Just goes, look, let me deal with this.
All right, let me fucking sort this guy out. I'll take a belt off him. Somebody will come later. Somebody will come and beat me in 2 minutes. But what I'm saying is, you give him a wrestler, and the wrestler out wrestles him, right? And then he looks normal.
Yes.
And we've had this guy save 300 card. He fought Pro Haska.
Yep. Twice.
Short notice as well. Yep. Right. So he's fucking your guy.
So he's the GOAT, eh?
No, John Jones is still the GOAT. You can't, mate. Come on, look at the list of
pound
guys.
for pound. All right, pound for pound. Who's pound for pound champ right now?
I think it's Islam Makhachev.
I know, but it's no.
It's no. It's John Jones. John Jones beats everybody.
So if John Jones is going to retire after the Stipe fight, right? Scrap the John Jones fight and let's just have Pereira fight him then.
Aye, I'd love that.
And it saves you. And because I was thinking about this because you said it the other day, you're like, you don't like Tom Aspinall fighting Pereira because they're both the guy and you have to lose one.
Right.
So we're losing John Jones anyway. So let's lose him to Pereira.
Mm-hmm.
What are we saying?
I agree with you.
I'm in.
And I think John Jones fucks up
Pereira. So there.
I think he beats him wrestling, striking. He's just more creative. I think John Jones is the greatest MMA athlete of all time. I don't care if you think GSP. If we're going pound for pound in this division, whatever it is, fucking Islam Makhachev. He's crazy fucks. He beats everybody. He's creative.
Aye.
He's a piece of shit, but
we're
no, the pound
we're
for
all a
pound
piece
ranking,
of shit, man.
The pound for pound ranking is not how good you are as a person.
No.
It's about how good you are as a fighter.
I think you should be higher up the pound for pound if you're a bad person.
Like, the pound for pound.
I think you should test positive a couple of times.
Pound for pound's a bit shit, isn't it?
Aye.
Look at,
Aye.
like, all great fighters, but come on. Come on, man. Why are you lying?
I know. What you got, Craig? Your Sahann's bothering you. Have I said Sahan?
I can't believe you haven't mentioned Aspinall yet. I can't believe you would rather see John Jones and Pereira over John Jones, Tom Aspinall.
That's never happening. John Jones never plays
this
fair.
Has been made very clear.
John Jones never goes, you know what? I beat Stipe Miocic. You know what I'd love to do? Fight a guy who moves as well as Tom Aspinall, hits as hard as Tom Aspinall, and grapples like a motherfucker. That's like John Jones in his prime would have taken it, I reckon.
I don't want to see Tom Aspinall fight Pereira because I'm enjoying this Pereira train.
Aye.
And I didn't want Tom Aspinall just halting that.
Tom Aspinall fucking
Tom Aspinall beat Pereira.
Aye. Either outstrikes him or takes him down.
I think Tom Aspinall would do both. I think Khalil was connecting with Pereira. If Tom Aspinall connects with you, that's a different thing. It's not the same. So getting hit by Tom Aspinall's no like getting hit by Pereira. It's fucking 100 times worse. So, Tom Aspinall, we have to take him out of the conversation completely because he's just fucking killing any cunt you put him in with.
And especially if you're thinking about this as a business, then you don't want to, as you said, you don't want to lose Tom and Aspinall. Like if I'm the UFC and I know that Tom Aspinall is going to beat Jones, that's what I'm thinking, right? I'm thinking, right, there's a good chance Tom Aspinall beats Jones. But there's still that what if John Jones beats Tom Aspinall? And what happens then when John Jones walks away?
He's only lost to the GOAT though. So people wouldn't.
It doesn't matter. You've still lost to like. So it takes a little bit of the shine away for this guy who's the next superstar. So we've got a few superstars. I'm no shitting on people. I think Pantoja is a fair bit away from being a superstar. The same for Diwali and the same for Topuria. I don't think they're superstars. Islam Makhachev is got a little bit of charm.
Everyone hates
Bilal
him.
Muhammad, nobody's really getting behind him. DDP's the same. Like you've got two guys in the whole of the division who people want to see. We lost Sugar Sean. We lost Volkanovski. So like the only really guy we've got who can be a superstar is Tom Aspinall, because the Pereira train is going to have to stop eventually. He's older.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing, eh? Fucking, you forget that actually.
Aye.
So that's probably why he's squeezing in as many fights as he is
He's
now.
just like, shut up.
Aye. More title defences than, who's the other one with the same haircut they all liked? Khabib. That one.
The haircut they all like.
He just set the record for quickest 3 title defences in 1 year.
In
There you
1 year, that's
It used to be Ronda Rousey.
Pound for pound, he's number one then, eh?
Yes.
Recency bias.
Recency
bias. I'll give him recency bias.
Just because John Jones is away.
Activity.
Khabib was also fighting for like 2012 or something as well, so
Khabib was also fighting jobbies.
And didn't he want to fight in?
done it in such a shorter space of time.
Aye. But they've obviously got the stuff with they'll not fight during Ramadan and stuff like that, which is a religious reason, so that's different. Like, well, Bilal fights during Ramadan, to be fair.
Do you think Tony Ferguson would beat Khabib?
Back in when they were originally done? Aye. Well, I hope they would, but I don't know now. I was always a Team Tony guy, yeah. I liked him. He should be pound for pound on the maddest cunt list. He would be number one.
There's been some mad fucking guys coming through the UFC.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
So, UFC 310 is in December.
Yep.
No main event or co-mains announced. Do you think the UFC were maybe hoping Pereira gets Khalil out of there in 1 round, no damage, comes back in December?
I think he's going
to. He can still do it.
I think he's right. This is going to be my bet. This is my outside bet. I think he's going to appear on your card.
You think so?
I do.
It's pretty soon, man.
I know it's very soon, but I do think that's going to happen.
Can you flick down to the light heavyweight, please, just to have a wee gander at the. Who'd you give him?
I think it could be Jamal.
Oh,
I think they might let Jamal back in there. Well, if they can build enough friction, if Jamal can keep doing his bit, and I know we just slagged him there for the yawning thing and what's up with his hand, but if Jamal can keep doing his bit, he could get in there. I don't know what his situation is with training and stuff like that. Like I know he suffers.
Can you click on that just to see what the top 15 is, please? The light heavyweight. Oh, sorry, it's there.
Rakic is good though. Everybody's like written him off against Ankalaev, eh? Nobody thinks he's going to beat Ankalaev.
Such a long layoff.
Aye, he had a bad injury as well, eh?
Shoulder, isn't it?
Something like that.
I think the only option is Jamal Hill.
I honestly would not surprise me at all if he just went, all right, I'll fight Jamal and at MSG.
Let's see the light heavyweight division. Let's maybe fucking Big Chama comes up here and busts somebody else's mouth open.
We could see him at heavyweight, I think.
That's what I'm like. Could he? There's nobody. You put him in any of the heavyweights. There's nobody that gets me fucking excited.
I think for him to step in at heavyweight, someone would have to fall out. So I think Stipe would have to fall out, but I think there's a signed agreement now that Tom Aspinall steps in.
Nobody's fighting. Like John Jones is getting fucking some pull.
Signed.
John Jones isn't going to go,
Oh, I agree.
I'm going to fight him.
I
There's
agree.
no hope in hell, John Jones. I think Stipe, you've got a better chance of Stipe fighting.
Aye, Stipe would.
Fight him, but I don't think John Jones is going to be like, I'll take him.
But what happens if Stipe pulls out?
The fight's not going to happen.
I think I know that they've signed and said Tom Aspinall's in, but I do think they'll.
If you ever worked in a place and the work says, "Oh, you're working this Sunday,"
Aye,
and if you turned up some of them, if you've disagreed with it and you went, "Fuck that, I'm not doing it."
I employ people, and when I've got a shit task, there's some people I didn't ask. I didn't ask my good guys. I only asked my shit guys.
There's no.
Sorry, my shit guys, but you fucking try harder, eh? You losers. You're fucking losers. You get more money if you want to such a fucking loser.
So, do you think Tom Aspinall? Do you think John Jones accepts fighting Tom Aspinall?
Nah.
Of course he doesn't.
Nah, I just could go, nah. I'm injured.
Tom, you imagine taking a late replacement fight against someone like Tom Aspinall?
No, no thanks.
Nobody's going to be like, "Yep, sign me up for that."
Mm-hmm. Does it change your opinion of him?
John Jones?
That he doesn't want to fight him?
Nah, because he's just playing the game.
Because John Jones likes the cards stacked in his favour, and I get it. You're not going to if you've never lost a fight, and I know people will be like, "Well, he's been close to losing fights," and on paper it looks like he lost fights, but John Jones's record is got no blemishes on it at all.
You ever see the Michael Jordan golf and stuff, and how he made sure the courses all suit him, and he gambled big money with people come over and golf with him on his own courses. Is that right? And he would always have the courses set up. He got to see how they were set up. He again stacked all the cards in his favor. That's to be one of the greatest. You still have to do that. There still has. You didn't just like, oh, it's all hard work and I fucking say my prayers and I eat my vegetables. You have to, there's some underhand stuff goes on. So why would you take that risk? Why waste your time? It does nothing for John Jones to fight Tom Aspinall. Okay,
the only people who get the tick there is the UFC and fans. Fans are like, well, we're getting to see this fight.
I want to. I'm saying me personally, of course, I'd love to see Tom Aspinall fight John Jones. And I think Tom would beat him. But for the other side of the card, why would John Jones do that, mate?
But as a fan, I think now fighting Tom Aspinall, not that John Jones needs it, obviously his legacy is cemented, fighting Tom Aspinall does way more for John Jones' legacy than fighting Stipe does now.
But Stipe Miocic right now is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time.
More title defences than anyone, bro.
Tom Aspinall is going to be that guy, but he's not that guy now. So you beat a young Tom Aspinall, let's play devil's advocate, you beat a young Tom Aspinall and people go, aye, but what do you expect? Come back in 5 years and fight him.
But what does beating Stipe, who's not fought in 3 years and is coming off a knockout loss, do for him?
Most title defences ever, bro.
You become the greatest heavyweight. You become the greatest heavyweight by beating the best.
What's your angle here?
Well, we are all sitting. We are all in Tom Aspinall's side. We think that's the fight we want.
We're Team Tam.
Aye, we agree, but I just can't see.
But what we're saying is the business is. Why would the business allow that? What's the point?
I mean, the UFC would be happy to see it.
Do you think so?
Aye, because they'll make so much money.
Do you think they won't?
But that's that. It's that. What if Tom loses to, and then John Jones walks away?
I don't think
it's the what if.
I don't think he'll leave.
I mean, if you offer him the Pereira fight, then that's because looking on paper or looking at Pereira as a fighter and looking at John Jones as a fighter, you're going to have to side with John Jones in this. Skill wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to see Pereira again by the end of the year. I would, but I don't think there's anybody there apart from Jamal Hill.
That's my outside prediction.
And this would just be like a heavy sparring session for him.
And I think, do you know what? They might even go, just fucking come in any way you want. Who cares?
Do
whatever you want. Jamal and Pereira, aye. I don't know if Jamal has trouble making weight, but he's a big lad,
Mhm.
you know. So maybe they just say, look, fucking some kind of whatever. Like you say, the fans. I think Jamal's starting to find himself falling out of favour with the fans a bit.
I don't think he was ever in favour. I don't think the fans really liked him.
And I think that bothers him.
Aye.
I don't think that's a bad thing. If he was to play into it like this, play into being the heel, but I think he actually, it's kind of like DC, and a lot of people forget this. Back when DC had his rivalry with Jones, DC wasn't a fan favourite. He wasn't a popular fighter. People wanted to see John Jones smoke him, and I never understood that. I was a massive DC fan, and I think Jamal has kind of turned into that guy now where like he's almost a bad guy. And I was like, hang on a minute, like he's a likable guy. Like
I think you do need the bad guys.
Oh, absolutely. And you need rivalries. You need these fucking rivalries. And right now, Pereira is in dire need of a big rival. Because Izzy's gone. He's never fighting him again.
But that requires Hill to get the victory over Pereira for the rivalry to begin.
Aye. Does.
You can make all the Twitter comments and all the like shit.
I agree with his point though.
Aye.
He did get a bit. It's a bit shitty.
Do you know?
I don't think it's wrong, but I understand why Jamal was annoyed.
Man, he touched the gloves. It's fucking game day.
I know, but if I was
a fight.
It is. I see both sides of it, is what I'm saying. I do see both sides of it. I think Jamal does, and he is that guy, he will moan about anything. He will complain about anything. But I do kind of get, like, you're right, they did touch gloves, but there was just that sort of...
There was time, man. It wasn't like it was like, bump, bump.
Aye. I don't know. I feel like...
So do you think...
There's something to build on. He's got something there to complain about.
Has the wrestler, Ben Askren, got a complaint against getting knocked out off Jorge Masvidal? They didn't touch gloves. He just ran at him.
Aye.
It's the same thing.
It is.
Once that cage door's shut and the referee says, let's fucking go.
I'm as big a supporter as that as anyone. I don't even think... I never touch gloves unless they offer me.
Touching gloves is for fucking pussies.
I'd rather we didn't do it.
Aye.
I hate when people offer.
See in between when people...
I hate it between rounds.
When they start like, oh, let's cuddle. Let's fucking not. Let's fucking fight.
We'll all be pals after,
Let's have a couple of beers.
I think Jamal's got something to build on, and I think Jamal should look to build on a rivalry with Pereira. That would be the smart thing to do, and that would help the light heavyweight division.
I've got a question for you.
Go on.
Before Khalil get popped for drugs, he was meant to fight Jamal Hill.
Yes.
Did he beat Jamal Hill?
No. You
don't think Khalil would beat Jamal Hill?
Oh, do I think he would?
Because remember that was a fight. Remember after like the fight before Khalil got popped was him versus Hill.
I think Khalil Hill would be an excellent fight. Aye.
Who wins?
Going off just pure recency, I'm going to take Khalil. Purely off his performance on Saturday night. I think Khalil, but he's not going to be fighting for a wee while. No way a fucking cast on his face.
I don't think you see him coming back in the same version that he left.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's one of the fights where it's like
Dominic Reyes, John Jones. It's the same type of thing. Like just got to a level of exhaustion where I think Khalil won. He did get to just a level of exhaustion, but cumulative damage for these strikes is fucking heavy.
So see, when I'm watching it, right, I think the vast majority of the strikes that Khalil, and then correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they landed.
I think the shots to the leg are what done Khalil.
No, I mean Khalil striking against Pereira.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was just half an inch too short, and it looked like they were coming in because they were inside his arc. Mm-hmm. But actually, I don't think...
There was a liver shot, I think, that maybe hurt him a wee bit, was there no?
Pereira?
Aye. Sure, there was a bit of a kick, yeah.
I thought
the kick, aye.
Do you know what, as well, it took Khalil fucking 3 rounds to start throwing any kicks. I was like, and as soon as he started kicking, he started to get success. But it's like you say, that weird way that Pereira, the guard, and the shots just dropping, and he...
It looked like...
I kept thinking, like, he is going to get clapped if he... And he just...
As you said, he's dialing in, he's
just... Till he gets it.
Until he gets, like, the cheat code.
And returning to the calf, return to the calf, the whole time. Like, you could see Khalil's legs getting chewed up, and he starts to square up, and then...
One of the best fights we've seen this year.
Easily. One of the best fights I've seen, aye. Mm-hmm. But it took the two of them. They both had to be the bit... like, Pereira just... The way he's just coming out and just stopping cunts. That's the thing for me. Like, to be just knocking these cunts out cold, smashing Khalil to bits, dropping Jamal Hill in fucking inside a round, wasn't it? Was it round one? Was round one?
They were speaking about it on Bisping's podcast, him and Anthony Smith, and they were saying that Khalil basically, like, when you're going physically at it, you still need to try and keep mentally calm.
Aye.
He wasn't doing that, so he was like so explosive and everything. He just gassed.
I don't know.
Whereas Pereira, do you see how calm he was the full fight? Even when it wasn't going his way, he's just so calm.
There's a couple of things that Khalil done that gave him away for being very tense as well. I don't know if you've seen the hopping at the start, hopping, breathing with his shoulders too. And I was like, oh, he's maybe having trouble with this altitude.
If this is your first title fight,
Aye.
at altitude,
First time 5 rounds, I think.
aye,
First 5 rounder.
against
Aye.
Pereira. It's a
Aye.
toughie, but
And of course there's going to be pressure on him. I'm not saying like, oh, imagine having pressure. I'm saying, like you say, Pereira didn't show anything and Khalil did. Normally you would see both guys looking a bit tense, a bit like they get that, I get it in the back of my neck. Hey, I'm always like that. I'm like, fuck, my neck is killing me. And it's just exactly that, stress. And Pereira just shows none of that. Like he's almost like he couldn't give a fuck if he lost. He's no bothered. Well, mate.
I'm getting money, I'm getting paid.
I know. So that's what I would like to see, just for a purely selfish fan point of view. Let's build a rivalry, Pereira and Jamal Hill.
I'm doing that. Greg, how was your superstar Buckley before he get the knockout?
Was he the man?
Wonderboy actually looked great.
He did, didn't he?
I
For
thought
a guy at 40-year-old.
brilliant, aye. And then Buckley just went off and got. I think he kind of knew he had to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think his corner actually said to him, and it's a great knockout. He also got fight tonight, I think.
Did they?
I think he got 50 bags, so he did.
Good on him, man. I see when you think about it. Did you see the thing he won as well? The one that was moved. Span versus OSP.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was another good fight as well.
Submission finish for Span, wasn't it?
I think he wanted to be out of there. Is this the scorecards for Buckley and Thompson?
Aye, they were all over the place. One judge had it a round each. One judge had it 2 rounds for Buckley, and one judge had it 2 rounds for Wonderboy.
I see this `𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗏𝗏. Normally he's good to.
So I had Wonderboy up. I thought he was winning. Like, regardless, I thought he was winning. I didn't have the scorecards like that.
Oh, `𝗟𝗟𝗏𝗏's got him no winning fuck all. And on the right, first 2 to Wonderboy.
So I think this card for judging was pretty shit.
So you're obviously talking about Pena Pennington and Jose Aldo's fights.
Have you got the scorecards there for Jose Katongo?
What? Mate, he played for Hearts. Some boy. I had a Jose Katongo wig.
Did you?
Big dreadlock rig.
I don't
big
think
dreadlock
you're really to wear that.
How no?
I'm trying to see these fucking cards.
All right, so we've got
That's
he's done something.
That's,
Now it's massive.
That's what she said.
Dun. Oh, I've never had a compliment like that. All right.
They're a bit.
Aye, jumbled.
Right. What's your thoughts on what Batista did? Did he win?
So, I use this one all the time. It's very hard to watch. So, I'm a Jose Aldo fan. So, was I just watching Jose Aldo? Which I think I probably was. And I think I was being biased because I wanted Jose Aldo to win. So
I thought Jose Aldo did win.
I thought Jose Aldo did win.
And not because I'm a Jose Aldo fan. I like Jose Aldo. I'm not like Jose Aldo.
King of Real.
Aye, he is.
Aye.
He's very good. And we've spoken about him previously. But if you're unable to take Jose Aldo down, do you not get props for that? If you're
defending
Jose,
takedowns,
if
yes.
Jose Aldo stops you for taking him down, that should be you should be definitely getting props for that.
Aye.
Apart from Batista holding him against the cage, which was fucking stopped a few times, like come on, actually do stuff.
So what do you think we have to be? So I think the holding against the cage is shite, and I don't really think it should count for anything unless you're holding against the cage and doing something. So if I'm holding you against the cage and kneeing you, elbowing you, I'm basically like I've pushed you against the fence and I'm using the fence to fucking beat you up against it. Mm-hmm. Short of that, like your guy you're holding against the cage could just rest. He's just resting. So how is this cage control thing? To be totally honest, I think it's shite. I think it's a shite rule, and I don't think it should be counting.
What happens if we change the being vertical and lie them down?
If he's got you on the floor,
and you think it's different?
Yes, because I'm stopping you getting back up.
But then you're stopping him from getting off the cage. I'm just playing devil's
I know,
advocate.
I'm with you.
I kind of agree with you.
You not only score points for changing position. I'm sure, again, just to bring up the Bisman thing, because they were saying, say like you're getting pushed against the fence, right, and that guy's trying to take you down, and he doesn't, you should really score points because
Yes.
I've beat you
Attempted.
here.
It's an attempted
But you
takedown.
don't get any points for negative moves or something like that, like they were talking about it.
But then what happened if the fight's the way it was? Because the fight was, your man Batista didn't do anything. Jose Aldo landed some shots, but Batista didn't do anything apart from cage control, meaning against the cage, not actual ring work, but hold him against. And apart from him going for the takedowns, he never really done anything. So in my opinion, surely we have to,
Especially if we don't get him down.
surely we have to score much larger the fact that Jose Aldo was outstriking him and the fact that he stopped him from taking it down.
Or should the referee be stepping in after a certain amount of time of inactivity against the cage? Should the referee come in and go split up now?
No, but then you're putting on the referee, isn't it's his job to
Force the action.
it's the referee then becomes part
Aye,
of this
too
fight.
involved.
Aye,
Too
too
involved.
involved. Where it should, it's
It is
definitely-
hard, eh? It
Craig,
is
what's your
hard.
thoughts?
I think Aldo won. I think Aldo was punished for having good takedown defense.
Aye,
Did you see what Conor McGregor said about
I
it?
did.
No.
His idea. So what he said was, if a situation like this occurs where someone, like for Batista, for example, is stalling and it takes too long, the ref breaks it up. The next time it happens, the ref steps in even quicker and he just reduces their clock each time. It's like, you're not doing nothing, I'm cutting your time. So say he gives him 45 seconds to work and he does nothing, next time 30 seconds, next time 15 seconds.
That would be
tough
hard. You would need a
because-
man at the side.
Because
and-
if I'm a grappler and I'm getting you into the position and it takes a bit of time to work, it's not like striking where it's instant.
Yes and no. So like, you didn't hold people against the cage and attempt to submit them. You either pull them into guard or on top of them attempting to submit them. So it's different. So when I watch you, right, Shogun, who is a good example, the amount of times where he keeps the first fight with Shogun, he keeps his elbows tight as fuck, both hands inside, and he tucks his chin in, and your feet are popping up onto the hips the whole time.
Yep.
That's now because I know you and I know what I'm looking at. You're attempting to set up a triangle for there. But the judge at the side, he doesn't actually know. He just goes, Paul Craig's sitting on the bottom and he's sitting with his feet on fucking Shogun's hip. He probably doesn't even notice you've done that.
Yeah.
So that's just a lack of knowledge on that part that they...
So how do you make the judging
You just let me judge.
favour
I know.
all disciplines?
I don't think you can.
Because if you're a judge and, as you're saying, if you know my style and know jiu-jitsu, then you're like, Paul Craig's going for this.
Aye, so
then you would score me high.
Yes.
But other people would be like, well, I'm a fucking wrestler.
Same with the Kennedy.
And top pressure is much more rewarding than bottom pressure.
Aye, this is like a fucking big green wig I've got on, eh? I agree with you, but it is hard. It is a tough, because you could just turn around and go, like you say, Paul's just sitting doing the Kennedy.
Ninjutsu.
Aye, however you say his name. The judges had him winning that fight against you on the cards before you fucking tanned his arm, and his arm was already fucked. Like, I don't know how many submission attempts you had gone for, quite a few. You'd already almost had an arm bar, which fucking wrecked his arm anyway, and then finished the fight, and they had him winning that fight on the scorecard, and you're like, I just didn't like you say, it is hard. That's also a different scenario for here. Mario was just pushing against the cage, and just pushing against the cage shouldn't be. That position should almost be neutral, in fact. But
It's called, what's that called in the gym?
the big brother.
No, when you're in that position, when you're pressed against the cage.
What name you got for it?
50-50.
50-50 is what I was going to say.
Aye,
Aye.
it's like 50-50.
Aye, it's 50-50.
Because nobody's in a dominant position.
Aye. But if I pull your legs out from underneath you and I'm fucking using my head to push you down, if you watch the fight with me and Matthias, like, I 10-9 in both the rounds because I just had him on the ground and I strike, I cut his eye, and in the second round attack with submissions, fucking take the back, all your shit of the day. That's advancing your position or dominating a position. Pressing somebody against the cage is not enough. I don't think. I think it's a neutral position. Just because I've got my cage against, my back against the cage, it looks like you're dominating, but really you're just resting, eh? What have we got here?
This is Jose Aldo's takedown defense in the UFC. So there's been 107 takedowns attempted on them. Only 9 have been successful.
Wow.
That's mental. Who there got 2? Frankie Edgar. Oh. And he still beat him.
Why is that guy not in the GOAT list? In the
Frankie
pound
Edgar.
for pound? No, I'm talking about Jose.
Jose, he's cool. But his takedowns against Merab, same thing. Defended like 16 takedowns for Merab. Mental. And similar thing happened to him. Got pushed against the cage and just kind of like, I don't know. But then do you say, well, these are the rules. You have to, you as the fighter have got to work around them. So you need to be pushing them off and getting back to the centre of the cage.
And the same again, I don't blame Mario. He's won the fight through winning the fight, winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it shouldn't matter how you win. You've got the victory, and he got the victory through pressure. It's difficult. It's difficult.
It's still the entertainment industry.
Guys, if we are talking shit, then fire into the comments and tell us what you're thinking, because it's...
You'd be like, Ross and Paul are idiots.
It's difficult. Like, I don't know how you make it better. I don't know what you do to the sport to make it better.
It's pretty good now. But you do get bell-ends.
Meaning judging?
No,
not fighters.
Mario,
right.
Why don't they leave a comment on what they think would make it better? Leave us your comments.
I think everyone should be open soccer kicks.
Aye.
Just everyone.
I'm a fan.
Aye, just
I like
fucking bring
finish
back.
him. Jose Aldo would have fucking done him then. Just put his head clean off. But I don't know. I don't know how you fix it. And the problem is guys are going in there knowing that is like, I'm going to force him against the cage and I'm just going to gut this suit. And that's a bit pish. Different. I tell you what, where I might be all right with, see you got a bad cut or something and you're like, fuck, I need to see this round out. Like, I'm cut bad. I'm going to just hit him against
You're up 2 rounds.
Aye, I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. Can what I mean? Just
so are we wrong because we're trying to make it better and it's actually it's fine the way it is?
Aye. Should the incentive be put on the man whose back's on the cage?
We'll just cut all that because it's a waste of time, because the rules are there for a reason.
And we should just shut the fuck up and obey the rules.
The rules are designed for
us to talk about them.
No. So what about this? Jose Aldo couldn't do anything.
That's what I'm saying.
Jose Aldo couldn't do a thing. He couldn't get off the cage. He maybe landed a few strikes, but Mario big brothered him. Mario pushed him against the cage. Doesn't matter how many attempted takedowns. He beat him. He big brothered him. There's nothing Jose Aldo could have done, because if there was some Jose Aldo could have done, he would have won. So well done, Mario. That's it.
That's it. Podcast over, eh?
Aye. Just cut the rest of that, guys. That's everything else is shit. There is nothing worse than car trouble. It's one of the biggest banes of anyone's life. The last thing you want to be doing is be involved in an accident and us not only be out of pocket, be out of time, and not have a courtesy car as standard. And if you are involved in an accident that is not your fault, then why not hit up G4 Claims, and they will take all that hassle. They will deal with your claim. You will get 100% of the claim, and they will make sure you have a courtesy car, your entire claim. It makes sense to keep it G4, and my man Ross will give you the details.
You can get them on the phone at 01698 767 172. Get them there on WhatsApp. You can get them at notatfaultclaim.com and at the link in our bio.
The worst thing that happens is you're involved in an accident and you don't get the support of G4 Claims. So just make your life easier. I've warned you. Ross has warned you. Keep it G4 Claims.
Have you ever heard what Joe Rogan's dream for MMA is?
Basketball court.
Yep, no cage.
No cage, aye. So you can't do that.
So you could just run away?
Well, aye. But there has to be a fucking end line at some point.
Do you like the idea of the karate combat one?
Aye.
You know,
I love that.
I think that's kind of cool. What's your thoughts on that, Craig?
The sloped
Aye, it's cool. I like the pit. I like the way people use it.
pit. I forgot that's what it was called. You mean with the jumping off for punches and stuff? Aye.
But then the whole thing about cage wall work now becomes obsolete. So if you've got good cage defense, then Jose Aldo gets beat again.
Aye. And then, like, I kind of rely on the cage.
Aye,
I
so
need
they
it to get you down.
So they are.
So I'd have a fucking awful night. Oh, you can't. How am I going to get this guy down? There's nothing behind him to stop him fucking backing up.
What did you think of Kevin Holland?
Big Kev.
Big pop drib.
Oh, what are you? What's
Yeah, you.
I was gutted for him.
so? What is your thought? Do you think he just?
See, before you tell us your thoughts, what did you think about the coach coming in?
So I've no volume, so I can't hear when I'm sitting watching. I'm watching it in silence because I'm in
I thought you meant
bed.
the new. I'm like, what?
No.
So Kevin Holland's coach came in and asked him directly, "Can you continue?"
Is that what he's saying to him?
And Kevin Holland's like trying to breathe, and he's obviously got some sort of either if it's cartilage popped or the ribs broke or whatever, but he's got a rib injury.
Mm-hmm. Can see there's a problem breathing. I thought.
Is it on your coach or is it on you to make that decision? Because me personally, his coach should have been like, "Your ribs broke, you can't fight."
You're out. Aye. I prefer the coach to make the call.
Because you're kind of putting.
So I'm going to fight on anyway.
Like you're kind of putting the fighter in a position where it's like, don't ask me because I'm in fucking massive amounts of pain with a
but I will go.
sore rib. But if you,
I think Kevin Holland would. I don't know. What is it? Is actually came out? Is it a broken rib or is it cartilage? Is there no news on it?
So Greg, what you were about to say about the fight? The fight, did you enjoy it?
I enjoy Kevin Holland in general, but I think the thing is these freak accident, not even freak accidents and injuries, like they are just a byproduct of fighting, eh? Rib injury, partner.
Obviously, he got a. The commentator said it was still. Who was it was fighting again? What's the name? 𝗟𝗘𝗔𝗧𝗛𝗘𝗥'𝗗. Still put him in that position to cause the injury. So it's like you can't really take that.
Oh no,
away
of
from
course.
him, so,
Like it's the same as if it's a broke rib, broke arm, or a fractured fucking face, or broken nose, which stops the fight. It doesn't matter. The fight has been stopped due to Roman Galazzi.
So what's the fight go down as?
Surely a victory.
Aye, it's a win for Roman. Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
Right.
There's not going to be any sort of no contest or anything like that. Oh, he reacts backstage.
Who does?
Drama erupts. I feel bad for him saying he feels disappointed. Like, it's obviously no the win he wants to get.
That's a sport. You just can't.
Wants to fight in December.
Once they fight.
Hamzat or Robert Whittaker.
So they two are obviously booked for the Abu Dhabi card.
So do you think Kevin Holland's been hurt already going in as well? Damage to the ribs? Because it's so common, eh?
No idea. But
a win is a win.
A win for me, aye. And I don't think Kevin Holland done anything wrong with regards to not being able to continue. Like
if you can, eh? You know
the
yourself, you can.
You look forward a few fights before that, and you've got Khalil, who could not continue. Regardless of the referee's statement, he still dropped his knees because he had enough.
Aye.
It's the same as what Kevin Holland done.
Aye. It was the first round, aye. It was, eh? It's like, I don't think Kevin Holland's looked for a way out. I don't think he's just went, oh, this is not going my way. Because I saw a lot of comments like that. People saying, he's fucking just bailed. I think that's shite. I think MMA is just a fucking rough sport. Training camps are rough. I mean, there's every chance there was something wrong with it beforehand. You didn't know.
You see the moment it happens.
Aye.
Like, right away, he's like...
And he touches it, eh?
Aye.
So, as soon as when you see fighters' hands coming away for their face to a part of their body, you know something's wrong because it's drummed into you. These stay there or you're going to get really fucking hurt.
You're going to get hurt.
Things have to be really bad for you to take your hand away and cover something up. So, it is shite, but they happen. These incidents, they're always going to happen. They're just these X factor fucking... But again, he did get put in that position for it to be hurt. I don't know. Aye, it's a bit of an anticlimactic one. I don't think they'll reschedule it.
I don't think anybody needs to see that.
No.
What other fights are on that?
Felt for Kevin Holland. Terrible judging in the co-main.
You want to fire up that?
Did you catch the prelim fight with the terrible refereeing? It was like 4 eye pokes, a nut shot.
Oh,
and then
was this the... so again, I've seen captions about this, but I never saw the whole fight, sorry. felt
Right,
like I
so
couldn't
there
catch my
was-
breath there.
An eye poke, like a couple minutes into the first round, and the
Mhm.
ref didn't step in, but it was 𝗟𝗘𝗏𝗄. He was grabbing his eye, and the ref was like, "No, keep fighting." And then
Keep fighting.
maybe like 5 seconds after that, he gets hit in the nuts, and then the referee gives him the time for it, but he's no bothered. It's his eye. He's holding his eye,
Aye.
so it's probably a good thing to get hit in the nuts. And then like 2 more eye pokes. Ref doesn't take a point, no warning, nothing. And then 𝗟𝗘𝗏𝗄, it's quite similar to the Aldo Batista fight. He's holding him up against the cage. The ref steps in immediately, breaks
Does
up. Like he does it like 3 times, and I mean like 10 seconds. 10 seconds are against the cage for, and he steps in, breaks him up.
So this guy will not be
Aye.
refereeing again then.
UFC are very ruthless with that, eh?
It's difficult. Both refereeing and judging is difficult because it's human error,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you'll see. Maybe he didn't think there was an eye poke. And how many fighters have you seen claiming eye pokes and had time and it's not been an eye poke,
Aye.
or it's been a fist in the eye or something like that?
Well, that's it. Eh? You can actually punch them in the eye. That's allowed. How many times have we seen referees go, "Nah, that was clearly a fist"? As well, I'm sure Gaethje, something similar. Gaethje covered his eye, and they were like, "No, it was a fist." On you go. I think that was maybe against Holloway actually, but I wouldn't want to be a referee on that big stage. Like, even just you get your angle wrong, and you've no seen. Oh fuck, did something happen? It's a tough position to be in.
Is Mark Goddard the best referee? No nonsense. He doesn't fuck about.
If you're gonna have, he did Pereira Roundtree, to put him in the middle there.
I
Aye.
think he's the guy you want to referee because you know you're getting a fair crack at the whip.
And he's going to let you go.
Yep.
I think he makes a differentiation between a title fight and a non-title fight.
Was it last week where he called the fight off through? What was it called the fight off for? Was it a cut an eye?
Oh, the girl with the big cut down the. What was her name
No,
again?
I'm sure it was a week after.
The Moicano fight.
Oh,
Aye, the Saint Denis. His face was mangled, and Mark Goddard steps in and says, "Nah, it's done."
I think he knows what he's looking at. I
He's,
think
he's an experienced referee with striking and grappling experience.
They congratulated him, Mark Goddard, on the broadcast. He had refereed his 500th fight on that card,
Aye.
so he's been around.
Aye. 500th UFC fight.
I'm not 100% sure.
Aye. One of them's been mine. Actually watching the Pereira Roundtree fight, to hop back to that, I was like, oh, he could fucking stop this here. When Roundtree was still on his feet. And then I was kind of like, oh, because Khalil was just covering up, just getting hurt.
The last thing you want is a controversial
Aye.
fight that way.
And
But Khalil was still swinging.
I know.
Khalil was fucking, his face looked like
He
it
was
was in a
just,
car accident, and he was still swinging with the intent to fucking knock Pereira out.
anyway, I was kind of like watching it going, oh, the ref maybe he should just step in here. And then I was like, nah, let him fall. Okay, that's what he would want, eh?
Let him
Let him
fight.
fall. Let him fall, mate. That's what he would want. And then obviously the second he went, we stepped in and stopped the fight. But Mark Goddard, I think now he's getting to a stage where he doesn't really make mistakes, eh? I can't even remember the last time I seen a bad one for.
Would love to have him on the podcast.
Aye.
Love to sit down and actually
I
pick
think
his brain.
you wouldn't have wanted Herb Dean to do that fight, eh?
No.
Or fucking poor old Roundtree might have actually died.
sometimes Herb's like right in about it, and he's like, right, stop. There's like, there's only two punches thrown, and then
Aye.
other times he's like, if he dies.
Aye, fuck it.
So we all had a good time at the weekend with the UFC. Aye.
Aye. You hitting Co-Main, no? Did you see some of the judging for that? Did you watch Co-Main? Pena Pennington?
Aye. It was basically just it was the same issue they had a few weeks ago with at the Mexican Independence Day card with Shevchenko
Moshe.
and what was it called? Shevchenko and Agrasso,
Grasso.
where it was just somebody held somebody down, they racked up points.
I gave it to Pennington, though. I thought Pennington won 3-2. And Shays ended up losing. But what is the scorecards?
Aye, they were all over the place.
The same again,
I
just fucking buck wild.
She got a knockdown, didn't she?
I think
I thought kind of swung it a wee bit.
Fucking.
It was the first round that was the decider.
They've all gave her the last two. All of them gave her the last two. Nah. I gave her the first round as well.
So all the judges gave Pena 2 and 3. And then 2 of the judges gave her round 1 as well. And that's how she's won it.
That's mad because Pena didn't do anything in the first round. But anyway, judging was off. I'm sure Dana White will fucking jump on it.
There's your bonuses.
Great night of fights. How do we keep it going?
Well, what we do is we jump to the apex for a star-studded lineup.
Aye.
Pull that up, Craig, and let's see.
Pull that shit up.
A couple of wee fellies, eh?
Cutly P7's going to have a scrap. That boy's big in his home country. It's Japanese. Hey.
Aye. Oh, there's fucking
I like him. Daniel Rodriguez.
Aye. We enjoy the card.
Aye. Abdul. For Ghana.
Look at this Nico Price, man.
Aye.
He's a handsome fella.
There's that Chris Barnett guy.
I quite like Taff.
Aye.
Or I like one of them. There's 2, aren't there, brothers? Aye. I like one of them. I don't know what one.
One of them's all right.
It's listen, we can't complain.
Nah, we get fights every Saturday.
We've got a league, which isn't a league, so you can't really complain. If you want to compete with sports like American football, baseball, this is as close you get to it. Doesn't matter. You get a card every single weekend, and these are normally the ones where you have some barn burners. That's like just don't get upset with this, like you don't know any of the names.
These guys have got to build their name as well. They've got to get a chance.
So we've got number 1 fighting against number 5.
Flyweights, so.
Who's the champion flyweights? Is that the Spanish boy?
Pantoja.
Aye. Enjoy it. Right, you want to talk about did we get a few names with the correct picks for the Dan
Some people
Hardy?
did get it right, I saw.
One person got it right.
One person got it right.
There was debate as well, right? Because the comment had been edited. So we had to work out when it was edited in case he was fucking up to no good.
Who was
he
it?
has sent over proof. He just changed Pena, the spelling of Pena.
Oh.
His name was Jonathan Keegan. So he will be getting the Dan Hardy signed.
Where's he from?
Collectible. I don't know. Oh, I think it's Coatbridge, actually.
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
I think it's Coatbridge. Paul's got to drop it off.
Tell me drive out and get it.
So well done, Jordan Keegan.
Aye.
You are a winner of a Dan Hardy signed action figure.
We've also got some questions from fans that have, with the new question hang on the website, so a few have come through.
There's one of the questions, am I going to fight Jamie McDonald on Cage Warriors?
No,
So
but
if
do
he
you
wants it,
want
I'll
to?
fucking paste him like.
Let's do it then. Call him out. Go right now.
I came from nowhere again.
I know, I just...
Right, let's fucking start this rivalry again. How long have we been doing
Ross,
this?
look right into the camera and fucking call him out.
No, because I tried and he doesn't want to fight me, and that's what's sad about it. I'm not going to pick on someone who doesn't
I
want
need
to
to know
fight
how
me.
long are we jump over or...
But at 53 minutes.
But if he decides he wants a square goal, let me know, because
We'll
I
head
need
over.
something to go to the gym for.
We
mate.
can head over to the Patreon.
And do the Q some questions.
Let's do Q&A on the Patreon.
Some mad world news and offer you to look at.
But Jamie, honestly, I've got nothing to do, mate. I've been fucking depressed since my last fight. Come on, I'm needing a reason to go to the gym.
Do you want to answer one? Do you want to answer one of the fans' questions so it's not going over to Patreon? We'll give them a wee sneak.
Why you got a white and a black bear on the screen?
I don't see colour, mate. I just see two bears.
I just see 2 bears.
You can find out on the bonus episode.
Lovely.
So the first question, it comes from William Nicholson. He asks, what top 3 books would you recommend for a new reader? He's halfway through Lord of the Rings and enjoying it. He knows he could search on Google for popular books, but he loves the podcast and resonates with the boys, so I'm sure any book recommendations they have will be great.
What are you going for?
That one I just gave you, but I'm also reading another fucker than you called Dog Rounds.
Is this about history?
No, it's boxing. It's fighters. It's called Dog Rounds, Life and Death in the Boxing Ring. It's very good. I've read it once before. I'm reading it again.
For a new reader, I would 100% go Train Spotting. It's one.
All right.
It's one of your favourite books.
Aye.
Train Spotting is a fucking belter of a book. There's some great part, and even though I'm not for Edinburgh or the world of Leaf, I still kind of have a very similar grown up experience of drugs. Obviously, I'm not a junkie, But with regards to seeing people about my local area, so for me, train spotting would be definitely number one.
I went and gave dog rounds there out of just pure recency bias. I shouldn't have done that. Pound for pound, though. That one I gave you the day, that Reserve Police Battalion 101. For a history book, that's very good. Very good.
Don't listen to what Ross is saying. He's wanting good reads, man. He's reading Lord of the Rings and you get him to read about fucking...
Sorry, I don't know. What's I'm trying to think of what's a good one I've got sitting there. I don't know, because then I'm just going to say like The Blade Artist. And that's good as well, but it's just the same vein as Trainspotting. I need to go something different. I enjoyed The Blade Artist very much.
So would you need to follow the actual timeline.
I know.
You can't just go Blade Artist.
I know.
I mean, you could, but it's good to know the background.
I don't think you can just jump into Blade Artist without any... do you know what? I'd almost say you'd have to read Trainspotting and porno before you read The Blade Artist. You couldn't even just get away with just reading Trainspotting, I don't think. That's fucked that as well. I don't know. I've gave you some books and Paul's shat on them, so sorry.
That's because they're fucking shit.
All right, mate.
The guy's looking for some... The guy's reading Lord of the Rings and...
Harry Potter.
Aye, I'll take that.
Harry Potter's good.
What Harry Potter are you going for?
Number one, because my mum read it to me.
That was nice, your mum read your books.
I know. Cow. Before she stole for me.
Oh, if you're looking for more fucking...
I know.
Part like that, check out the Patreon. I would go... Favourite book? I like 1984.
Excellent.
Good book.
Good on Audible. Very good on audio, if you're an audio guy.
And I'm trying to get another book I've read recently. I Am Legend was good. Like from the film. I seen they've done a novel version of Ghostbusters 1 and 2, which I'm going to hit up next. So I think I'm going to do that. Craig, what book would you recommend?
Have neither of you read any Cormac McCarthy books?
Well, my man Gary Thompson loves The Road.
Aye.
And what's the other one he did?
He does. So he done No Country for Old Men, and then he made that into a film. But his best one is Blood Meridian.
Blood
They're
Meridian.
making that into a film.
That's the one Gary was.
Oh, he was talking about that in Vegas, eh?
Aye, he said it's his favourite book. But I've read The Road. I had read that, and I'd said about it on the podcast. It's
See if Gary Thompson suggests a book, read it, mate. Aye. He's the man, eh?
Should we get Gary Thompson for a chat?
Yes. Open Matt.
Open Matt with Gary Thompson.
Open your fucking mind with Gary Thompson.
But he's got to take a bag of mushrooms before he comes on.
Aye, let's audit it.
He probably do that anyway, but...
Aye. Let's take more than is safe. More than the suggested dosage.
Yes. So if you're looking for madness for Gary Thompson... Nah, he's a very...
I like Gary a lot.
Well-read and well-learned gentleman. You'll get some good chat for him. Potentially coming in a podcast in the near future. But
bring him on a watch-along.
Aye.
That's a shout.
That's a good shout.
Watch-along.
Yes.
Watch-along Gary Thompson.
Guys, we're planning on doing a watch-along. We were thinking about doing it with the Abu Dhabi card. Give us your thoughts in the chat, in the comments if you would be interested in a watch.
No ladies on the Abu Dhabi card again, I notice. How unusual.
I thought you were going to say no ladies in the comments, please.
No ladies in the comments, please. If you would like to
Especially
see
on
us
my ma.
do a watch along, then hit us up. But we're going to move over to the Patreon. We'll do some questions. We'll do some stuff that Craig set up, some cunt news. And as always, keep it high.
Cheerio.